When I was in high school, me and my brother were both in the swim team. He's faster than me, but we both joined during the same year because I wasn't that fast as he was naturally. Like, I had to really try to race him if I wanted to beat him in a race. But he was really fast. He'd beaten the school record and still holds it. Um, but anyways, at the time, I'm gonna give you a story time. At the time, I was a sophomore in high school. I was 15 years old. I was waking up every day for practice. I hated it. The water was freezing first thing in the morning, but that was the best part of the day. I hated it, but it was like that painful remedy type you know? I remember I would see these posts on social media right about this period, about 2015, 2016, about, NoFap and streaks that people held and them talking about some superpowers it gave them. I listened, but at first, I didn't make sense to me, what they were saying. Until they started mentioning things about the opposite sex and how they started to apparently attract them 10 times easier, apparently. On like a 30-day streak. And then I would see them make a video right after, or like not right after, but I would see them like my suggested feed. It was like looking very sad, talking about how they relapsed or like something like that in their title. Looking sad on their thumbnail. It was like, oh, day 15 or day 37, something like that, I never took it as a very serious thing. I just looked at it as someone who decided to, share their trials and tribulations online and voice it and put it on YouTube, or just a perfect collective voice for people to see and maybe think to themselves that they're not alone, or maybe just give themselves an excuse to go back to the poison after taking the antidote. That loop happens very often. I imagine, in the algorithm, I would never comment on those videos, never like them, I never engage with the creator. I would just listen, just like I always say, right? Or some other creators might call such behavior as ninja watching. But anyways, I would just kind of doze off into my own thing I'm doing. I wouldn't hear them at all because they weren't talking about anything. But I would still stay and watch. Very hypocritical of me, I know. On the topic of the things I was doing while I was stumbling upon more and more of these new creators popping up on YouTube, talking about their journey and improving themselves and, not touching themselves. I was just doing the things I was occupied at the time. Whether that was homework, or if it was at work doing menial tasks, or in a lecture that I already listened to prior to the lecture itself. That was the things I was doing while, listening to podcasts and stuff like that. Like in high school, I really like to do homework and listen to podcasts. At lunchtimes, I would sometimes skip going out, talking to friends, and getting lunch to go finish my homework in the library. Whenever I did that, I would at times feel bad because my friends are out and maybe are missing me, or I'm missing some interesting topics they're talking about. And right after those thoughts left, that's when I realized that the opposite, that they might not care, that they might just care about their own thing. At the end of the day, their homework, their lunch, their parents, their money, their future, which is pretty bad to think in terms of friendships, but I think the sooner that we realize the sooner we realize that, the sooner I think we can build more meaningful friendships. But if you do realize that, you have an advantage not over others, but over yourself. Okay. To wrap up, this point I'm making is that you have to choose your group you want to be around. So, and if you don't see the right characters that you don't want to be around, then maybe it's time for you to just be alone. There's nothing wrong with that, because let's say you go hang out a couple times with those type of people you don't really want to be around with. You'll just engage in meaningless convos, probably filled with slurs and profanity, maybe even uh, some disgusting acts that will just put you off completely. It's better to just realize that everything's fine. You're still here, your closest people are around you. Um, if you realize that you're all we're all human, this becomes much easier. Um, yeah. A quick story I want to tell about myself when I was about 10 or 11 or 9. I don't know for sure, but I remember these 3 particular things. I was playing outside, the sun just went down. It was a Sunday before school. Okay, so 3 things. I'm just going to mention this quick thing before I continue. I'm from a small town in Central Asia. It's very small. You can circle the whole thing a couple times by car. No problem, for sure. So there's a Caspian Sea to the west, and to the east is the rest of the land. So it's just basically a small town in the southwestern Kazakhstan, right on the Caspian Sea shore. But anyway, when we used to live there, we lived in a building that was in front of a cliff. And on that cliff is the main road. Okay, to get down to the building, I had to climb down this huge set of stairs, right, down this cliff into our front yard building, where all the kids playing that. And behind our building, there was 3 other buildings just like ours, all going downhill. And at the very bottom is a very pretty basketball court with lots of trees, which is very beautiful, by the way, especially in the summers. And finally, below that basketball court is the shore. Okay, I mean, I don't have to say about the shore. You know, you guys know what the shore looks like. Going north, after going the buildings along the shore, going north along the shore, you can circle the whole city. Okay, you can circle the whole thing. But it's just a quick rundown of where I'm from, I guess. I remember just standing on a cliff with a friend of mine, and a couple of girls climbed up the cliff. They were probably 2 years younger, but let's just say we were the same age. Okay, and one of them called me a slur. Okay, a Russian slur that I won't say. Okay, just some bad Russian word. Okay, I was mad. I ran after her. On the cliff, there was a rod, like a metal rod, sticking out. Because the area was like under construction and that we lived in like a trench. Our building was below ground. In front of it there was a cliff where they built stairs to climb it, and everything behind our building was the same buildings but lower and lower until you reached to the shore, basically. So after I took off after her, obviously I was angry. I was running, but since it was dark and I didn't see well, I just didn't see the rod, and it just pierced my knee skin off, like it was bleeding, and it was hurting pretty bad. So now I can't run. Right now I can't run. I'm walking down the stairs with my friend holding me up. I can't see the girls anywhere around. I'm pissed, but also feel pretty stupid because come on, why the fuck did I run in the dark on the cliff? I know I was like 10, but come on, I was stupid. Yeah, like that taught me a lesson, you know. It taught me that this thing that I was so confused about at first, you know, why are these people making these self-improvement videos of themselves talking cringy and about jacking off and but I understood that my experiences shape who I am and how strong I can be. The Monday after cutting my knee, I went to school with stitches and my knee wrapped, so I kind of looked goofy, maybe to some kids, but I still acted the same as I always was. So I remember being in the PE class. They were playing soccer, but because I couldn't play, I was injured. I was just sitting in the bleachers, right? Just sitting there cheering for my class. So the way grades there organized there is different. So I was cheering for my class, okay, like a cohort. It's different out there. I won't explain it to you. But so some kids from a different class decided to come up to me and pull my pants down because they saw my knee wrap. I don't know. They probably thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny, but I didn't do anything either. I just pulled my pants back up and sat back down because my knee was already, you know. Um, anyways, this is just a story to show you that my character was made a long time ago. So is yours, and everyone else's who makes these self-improvement, self-development type of videos. Mine is mine, yours is yours. They won't ever collide or merge. But just realize that just because you agree with me, or just because I'm making you feel good right now, doesn't mean that we will ever meet in real life, or our paths will ever merge. It just means that me and you are connecting in a way in which time is involved. And if I don't make some of you do something, then I'm failing. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends. Bye and take care.